So, good evening. This is March 23rd, 2023, and Village of Webster Board meeting is now called to order. If you would stand, please. And Carl, welcome back. Would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Seated, and our first order of business this evening, I guess we'll have to wait for 7:05, would be to have a public comment. If anybody would like to address the board this evening, microphone is open. Okay, then I will close the public comment portion of the meeting, and we will move now to, still have time, to our regular order of business. And our first item tonight is, would be to set a public hearing on a tentative budget for 2023-24 fiscal year on April 13th, 2023 at 7:20. And this public hearing will take place after the budget PowerPoint presentation, which will be made by our treasurer. So, I hear a motion to approve and to set this public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Aye.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Our next meeting will hear budget presentation. I believe it will also be in the Herald before that. All right. Well, we'll do one more item here before we go to the public hearing. And that is a resolution to approve minutes from the March 9th, 2023 meeting. See no changes, corrections, additions, subtractions. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Trustee Ippolito?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Motion passes.
It is 7:07, so we're just slightly past the 7:05 time for public hearing, but at this particular time, I would open the floor, public hearing on proposed local law number 2 of 2023 entitled The Addition of a Stop Intersection upon Lincolnshire Road and the Addition of Yield Intersections upon Kittleberger Park, Seasons Trail, and Blue Vista Trail. Enacting amendments to chapter 126, 156, excuse me. Now, well, if no one would care to address address the board for this proposed local law. By the way, this, I believe, would be local law number 2. I have in front of me this proposed local law, looks like 20.
It does.
So was it 20 or 2 out of Webster?
It should be 2. Right? XX would be 20, so that would be,
No, that's just what Jake puts in for, because there's no number yet until technically we send it.
oh,
He just puts the,
well, we're calling it local law number 2.
yeah, I just don't usually change it until I get it back from the state.
Yeah, 'cause
I thought it was 20.
yeah, that date would be a lot longer than what it with the Roman numeral.
Yeah.
MCI 6. I don't know what it be.
Sorry about that confusion.
All right, well, no one addressed, but, okay, so we will move on at this particular point to item number 3, which is a resolution to approve the claims and warrants.
Don't we have to close the public
Do
hearing?
we? I guess you have to close the public hearing. So, I have a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make it.
Second.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All down there, the Kittle Burger part. Okay, well, item number 3 is looking at the claims and warrants for this week. This period of time, 2 weeks. So,
Yeah, I know you have issues, a couple of things I just asked Mark about.
Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Sure.
If not, then I would ask for a motion to approve the claims and warrants. Okay.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Motion passes.
You all have in front of you the budget to actual report. So you can look over and see that we're pretty well on schedule. We're moving pretty well this year.
Yes, she does.
Item number 5, then, we'll move on to resolution to adopt Monroe County Hazard Mitigation Plan of 2023 update. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Village of Webster, New York, that Section 1, in accordance with Section 412 of Village Law, the Village of Webster Board of Trustees adopts the Monroe County Hazard Mitigation Plan 2023 update. This plan, approved by the community, may be edited or amended after submission for review, but will not require communities to re-adopt further iterations. And this only applies to this specific plan and does not absolve the community from updating the plan in 5 years. So, a motion to adopt the Monroe County Hazard Mitigation Plan for 2023 update.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy? Trustee Alito? Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Well, Jake, that if we didn't adopt it, we would not then be eligible for funds.
Yes, for hazard mitigation. And the village would have to do its own, or it's much easier to piggyback and with the county,
And it's the,
have them basically do it for you, rather than have to do it yourself.
Okay. Next, we have a resolution to authorize the village treasurer to sign the engagement letter with MMB for audit services for the Village of Webster Deferred Compensation Plan for the year ending December 31st, 2022. Is that correct? Audit services, okay. But this, I don't have a question on that. This one here, engagement letters for the year ending May 31st, 2023, as opposed to December 31st, 2022. Is there any discrepancy in this?
One is to audit the village's deferred compensation plan. The other one is to audit basically all of the village's financial statements. They're two different audits.
Okay.
So one for the deferred compensation plan, you have to do it in accordance with the rules and regulations set by the New York State Deferred Compensation Board. And it's their rules for the year ending December 31, 2022.
Okay.
I put, should that be 2023 and I put 2022 on the second one?
Well,
Because technically it would be,
Well, no,
did I mess that up?
it's probably for the village's year ending May 31, 2022. I think it's got to follow the fiscal year of the village.
I think it's the current one though, right? So they would audit this year, which is ending on May 31, 2023. Yes,
Yeah, it's with the cover letters.
yeah.
I messed up the year on the agenda itself. But in the letter, it says 2023. Because we already did the audit for 2020, right?
all right. So item 7 would be 2023 May,
This one.
Yes.
which is corresponding to this engagement letter.
Correct,
Year ending May 31.
right. But number 6 is correct because the deferred compensation plan
Is
is
correct.
the calendar year, not fiscal year.
And the total $17,050.
Oh, I should
For
put
the
that.
deferred compensation plan, it's $3,595.
I should put that in there,
The
sorry.
other
number?
one, that's number 6. Number 7 is the $17,000.
Sorry about that.
And I reviewed both of these
Yeah.
at Marcia's request, and it was a little confusing before. They basically charge a flat fee, but the way they had it written was, it was like it was an hourly rate, but they didn't set the hours, and I said, if it's a flat fee, just say it's a flat fee.
Yes.
So then they redid it and said, it's just gonna be a flat fee. So it's set for $17,050 for the general audit. and-
Instead of all that.
Yeah, right, and then, and $35.95 for the audit of the deferred comp plan. But otherwise, I reviewed them on the phone, but they made the change we asked
Okay.
for.
Thank you.
That's what we budgeted for. They give us that when
And then-
God chose them.
Yeah, and the resolution is to authorize Marcia to sign just in case Daryl's not around.
You can take it.
She can do it as treasurer.
So item 6, a resolution to authorize the village treasurer to sign the engagement letter with MMB for audit services for the Village of Webster Deferred Comp Plan for the year ending December 31st, 2022. And I believe that that is for the $3,595.
Correct.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy? Mayor Byers?
Aye. Okay, and the second one, item number 7, is a resolution to authorize the village treasurer to sign the engagement letter with NMB for audit services for Village of Webster financial statements for the fiscal year ending May 31st, 2023. And that is in the amount of $17,050.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy? Mayor Byers?
Okay, aye.
Motion passes. Passes.
Next, we have a resolution to approve the updated organizational chart.
So Jake moved the line from here to there.
There's a line missing right there.
No, he moved it so that
Moved.
he's a direct line
So
to him.
that's the move right there.
Yeah. I should have put that in red, sorry. Do you see what I mean, Jude?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, you and I talked.
Oh, that's right. So it was here, we moved it there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
No. Yeah, we need to do that.
So we have a motion to approve this change in the organizational chart. There is a line change under the Superintendent of Public Works. We now have 2 lines, one original that is extended down to the working foreman and chief plant operator for sewer and for the DPW staff, and then a second line down under Superintendent of Public Works to Building Inspector, Public Works Assistant.
Yes.
It's been discussed and it's okay.
Yes, I think I can make that motion.
Okay?
I'll second.
But you're not sure.
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Lauer and Lancy?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
Just say left side.
Aye.
Strong side. Motion passes.
Okay, and finally here, we are at item number 9. This is a resolution to accept a proposal from Elmer W. Davis to
And this is a
re-roof
different one than the one we
the
did.
upper roof. This is, I believe, the one that is above us now.
As we approve more than September.
Yeah, we did. Well,
No, you didn't have the contract. All you had,
Yeah.
you had a proposal, which is now addendum A to the contract.
So if we,
Nine should be a contract, or a proposal?
okay.
so if we approve the proposal,
Okay.
The proposal, you approved, you basically approved the price, but you didn't have a contract to approve.
Yeah.
So now the price, is attachment A.
Yes.
And then the rest of the contract is, and it's got the usual provisions for insurance and,
Yep.
and when their start date and And you they can get paid in installments, and I looked it over, and the only change is gonna be on 3.3, where it says, "The contractor shall achieve substantial completion of the entire work not later than blank days," or as follows. So instead of the NA, Jake's just gonna cross that out and put September 30th, 2023. He
Oh.
spoke with someone at Elmer Davis, and
Okay.
they're pretty certain they can have it done by September 30th.
Yeah, they're planning on starting even in April, if they can, weather permitting.
Yeah.
April showers, spring May flowers, so it might not happen. No,
We're getting new carpet.
they should be well out of the way
Okay,
on the roof, unless we're carpeting that as well.
no, not today.
Please ask for a curb, we go with it.
Jake, question, this says re-roof 28 West Main Street, which seems to me that extends then from the front of the building to here. Is that correct?
No,
Or is
it's-
that only over this?
It's just this building here, yeah, which is technically 29 South Avenue. I can make that correction too on the, that's the wrong thing. I don't want to correct the audit. Yeah, I think that's just our billing address, so they put that on there, but
Okay, well.
I think based on attachment A, everyone understands what part of the roof is going to get redone, right? Is it
That's
this-
fine,
is it
I mean,
this
I-
building?
Yeah.
It's this building, so it's actually not the DPW building.
well, when you come and look at it from the front, it says DPW, and then this is the upper roof behind it, so we call it DPW upper. But I can just put meeting room, I can cross it out and write meeting room. It's, so when we're looking at
So we're gonna
the,
make it like South Avenue?
yeah, we can make it 29, I can say,
Okay.
meeting room, 29 South Avenue, so 20 years from now, when we're looking at the minutes or in the archives, we'll be able to find it. It's a good,
Yep.
some of the challenging things that we face now when we don't, so, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that,
Change that.
Yeah,
Okay.
just change it on attachment A there,
yeah,
the regarding part, you know?
Yeah.
And just have everybody initial that, if you're gonna just hand it over. Redo it and send it to you.
Yeah. Is this for the mayor or something?
They should not surprise you, but if not,
Chasing down and
so, pardon me?
Okay, so it's 29 South Ave, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be needed.
Meeting room. Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Do you want to authorize Jake to sign on behalf of the village, or the mayor?
When do you have a copy of it right now?
I do, but I'm not a clean copy, so I'm making
He
these
was
couple
making kind of
notes.
sloppy notes to change the description and stuff.
Well, you'd have to do that before.
Is the side page?
Well,
Just
just
down to
So we'll authorize the
Just-
superintendent.
Yeah, authorize the superintendent of public works, just like you authorize the treasurer to sign the other one.
Yeah.
So I
If he does it
suppose
wrong,
that
we'll
we
send
should,
you-
first of all, accept the proposal. So maybe there's a resolution to accept the proposal.
Did that last time, I think.
We did.
This would be the
We
sign
did.
contract.
This is a contract.
It's
The contract.
a resolution to authorize the superintendent of public works to sign the contract for the re-roof of
Elmer W.
the
Davis.
community meeting room at 29 South
South
Avenue.
Avenue, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
$500.
Trustee Lancy? Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane? Trustee Davida?
As long as I last.
That's how it goes.
Aye.
You're fired.
Aye.
Can't do it anymore.
And I'm
Motion
gonna-
passes.
I'm gonna-
Oh.
19,000. Thanks for taking it.
Oh, yes, good job. Sorry.
Trying to have fun.
Okay, moving on to Don.
So this one's
Big news happened, right?
Yes.
Did I miss it, or were you supposed to, wasn't there a resolution for a budget modification for the money for the roof that was
That was
tabled
last,
from last?
We did that last week, right?
no, they did the
Last week.
modification last time, I believe.
We need a, what do we need?
Yes.
We need a public hearing for budget. No, that's, the public hearing. No, we'll do that.
I remember doing it.
No, it was, because it was the reserve funds,
It says,
but it was,
this was the meeting of March 9th, wasn't it the last meeting?
Oh,
According to the
correct.
minutes, it says there was a motion moved by trustee Esposito, seconded by trustee Lancy to table the roof replacement, but move forward with the rest of the budget modifications.
Is that because you said we couldn't do what they
Because it
were
was not
doing?
there
Yes.
was questions about the reserve funds.
Good memory.
And then March, and I thought it was on the agenda.
It was.
Yeah, I know, it disappeared somehow. I thought I saw it.
Yes, it
Earlier
was.
today.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, it was on the agenda earlier, I
see.
remember seeing it, but then it somehow disappeared.
What's that new pen you're using? Disappearing.
I've got the copy.
So, yeah, it's,
I have, can I, is it okay if I read it?
Yeah, I saw it. That was-
It was important.
Can she read it?
well, yeah, it's, yeah, so it's actually not a transfer, but it's you're modifying the budget. So instead of budgeting from reserves, equipment rotate, and reserves Donovan, and reserves Commercial Street, and, well, actually, the contingency did have money in it. You're taking 76,800. The first ones, you're actually just taking those out of the budget and instead putting them into the AA 1620.200 building/village hall equipment. Because the reserve never got funded in the first place, so the money's not there to transfer, so technically,
Exactly.
you're just modifying the budget. You're not actually transferring any money, but you are transferring from contingency, because the money was put into the contingency fund, but you're taking 76,800 out of contingency. It's this
You
top
showed
part.
it to me in the office.
It's the top
I
part.
know. Can I go get it?
And
Well, you don't have to.
Well, I just want to make sure this is,
I think it was in, didn't you include it in what you emailed
Yes.
everybody to? Yeah, I know, I thought you did.
So just go to your sent off and read it.
It's right here.
Time.
to
Yeah,
show,
well, I read it here.
but there was an explanation that Marcia gave me for the debits and credits in case anybody was confused. She can explain. To show the ready grant revenue and expenditures for well decommissioning project, because they added another one to it. She added another one. Is it, you do have it?
No, that was,
That was from,
No,
that
that's
was from 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so we're gonna debit AA 1620.200 from buildings, village hall equipment in the amount of $142,000 and $785. And we're gonna credit state aid ready grant, so nothing is being lost. And it's from AA 3089.020 state aid ready grant.
Yep.
So you're just debiting and crediting it. And then the other one was for the roof replacement, which was to allow for roof replacement at village offices, DPW meeting hall, and well decommissioning work. So it was from AA 9901.930, transfer to reserves, equipment rotate, 79,100. And then 9901.950, transfer to reserves, Donovan, 22,000. And then transfer to reserves commercial, 22,000. Contingency, 1990.400, which is 76,800. And then finally, 2 buildings and village hall equipment in the amount of $199,900.
makes sense.
Okay.
The
So I
ready grant's,
apologize.
the ready grant's the new part. That wasn't in front of you 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Right. But I couldn't go get it, it's right on the desk. It's been a day.
It's okay, Daryl just memorized exactly what
You did? Oh, that's why you need your
There's a
note.
motion on the floor. Do I hear a? Can I make that motion? Approve?
I
Yeah,
don't understand
she
what it went.
she's got it here.
Yeah, I saw it, I'll second it.
I'm sorry about that, I don't know where it went. It was there.
Apparently it wasn't.
I have two witnesses, Don and Jude.
That's true, because Don doesn't normally agree with you, so I should.
That's right. But I'm certain, I read it this afternoon.
Yeah.
so.
Sorry.
All right, looks like, wow, we need to do the attendance. Whatever. You just said nine.
Oh, well, I think you just moved on without me.
No, no.
Might
I
as well
said
have
aye
James do the
and
countdown.
Judy did second. Well, he does good minutes.
Trustee Abolito?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Mayor Byers?
Aye.
Motion passes.
You know?
Okay.
All right, Don, what do you got for us tonight?
The only thing, this morning, I was made aware that the chairman of the town zoning board of appeals had a death in the family. And the funeral or the calling hours are next Tuesday, and it's somewhere up in the North Country. So he's not going to be at the ZBA meeting on the 28th. So because of that, Jake, myself, and Matt Higgins decided we're going to put it off another 2 weeks to the April 11th town meeting. Which Jake is okay with that, except now he's got to really hustle to get back from, where are you going, Mississippi or something?
Mississippi.
Mississippi to see his son over Easter.
Yeah.
He assured us he will
Long
be back, he assured us he'll be back by 7 p.m. Tuesday. And it will give him more time to hopefully button down what may happen, what can happen to the barn. I guess you want to explain that
Yeah.
you finally talked to
Yeah, I
somebody.
finally had a positive conversation with the contractor in regards to the barn, and providing options, and I'm just waiting. I sent them the plans that we had, the original plan, so I'm just awaiting a report back from them with the proposal and options on it, so then we can be able to make the determination whether it's above or below the thresholds to go out to bid or not. and make the
Got a
determination. We have to
timeframe?
start with budget numbers. When I talked to him last week, I explained that we had a meeting next Thursday and we would like to have information
Okay.
well in advance of that so we can have a discussion on it. So hopefully end of this week, early next week, we'll put it before next Thursday. I'm not gonna tell them it's pushed back now. People thinking it's
Nothing
Thursday.
shortly in the building. Okay.
Yeah, they were, yes, yeah, we're looking at those options.
Taking down the existing north wall and coming back X number of feet, however many you said it was.
Yeah, 50-ish.
And then putting a new roof on the smaller building and a new, obviously a new north wall that won't have any doors or windows or,
Yeah, possibly just a man door and maybe one 8-footer to get in there.
so we're April 11th.
Okay.
And so you all know, I also, we had a discussion about perhaps corresponding with Josh Artuso and the town zoning board to get their determination as to whether or not the project as it stands now even constitutes an extension or increase in the non-conforming use. Because from Jake and my points of view, once we got rid of the septic receiving station,
Yeah.
nothing's really changing. In fact, it's smaller. You know, the capacity of the plant's not gonna be increased. The square footage actually is gonna be less because the two trickling filters are smaller than the existing original one. And you're taking down the ferric chloride storage building, put up a new chemical storage building, but it still results in a net reduction of like 7,000 square feet of structures on
It
the
is,
property.
I think
You know,
sometimes.
so, and if they're gonna insist that it's an extension or an increase, I want them to put it on the record as to what exactly is the extension or the increase.
Yeah,
Just in case things go south, I wanna be able
Yes.
to, you know, because that would be one of the arguments, should we have to have a judge look at things, is that
well, that's
we didn't, after we got rid of the septic, we didn't even need to be there anymore.
exactly.
But, so I made that request, and I'll, hopefully, the ZBA will let us know one way or the other every 11.
Okay.
Thank you, Don.
Yes. Did you get any quotes on,
Definitely like to have this done.
You did?
Yes.
Good.
If you're sitting, I'll tell you. They're even, you know, replacing the sections, replacing the fencing and a portion of the poles, getting rid of the top.
Yeah.
I think it's about 80 grand.
It is gonna be
Yeah,
about 80.
there's about a half mile of fence around the whole outside of
Well,
the.
that's kind of like
So the amount, if you don't think that it's,
anything that will help us.
yeah.
Yeah, my feeling is, look, if you're gonna do the plant upgrade, fix
Do it.
everything up, get it done once and for all, and
That's how I feel, that's why I'm doing it.
at that point, hopefully there won't be any other problems with neighbors or whatever, you know,
Yeah,
in town.
Well, that's exactly, that's how I feel, let's just cut this and,
And in reality, there was a lot of deliberations, obviously, on which way to go with it. So from being
I know.
financially responsible, we didn't want to invest in something that, you know, we're just going to take down potentially. So we said, well,
yeah,
let's figure out what we're doing first and
yeah.
Yeah,
then move forward.
Well, good.
So, but now we got
but I
that.
think, yeah, if the village is gonna put $10 million into the plant, you might as well
Do it
Right.
right, do it right once.
spend an extra couple hundred thousand, and
What the hell?
well, fix up the aesthetic stuff too. Like, once you get it done, it's good
It's
for
done
20,
for-
30 years,
yes.
you know, so.
We've
the fence
taken
up.
good care of the sewer system
Yeah.
up to this point,
Right.
so let's, yeah. Agreed.
But
Okay. Well, good. All right. Anything else done? If not,
no.
we'll move to the gentleman next to you. Jake?
Just have just a quick update, the cured in place pipelining of Kirchner Park. We did basically from where Sun Automotive is, north to, there's a turn in the woods north of 82 East Main, the old Schaefer Ross building. It actually goes under, there's a hallway connecting the two buildings and it goes under that. So we were able to line from, you know, just behind Sun Auto, north to the 90 in the woods and out.
Wow.
There was, you know, was a potential area where there's a lot of woods and trees in there, getting roots in there, and we had, you know, historically, there were some root issues. So that pipelining takes care of that. This, John and I discussed it again this morning, or yesterday morning. This time they used, it's basically like a sock that they put in that's kind of impregnated with the PVC material. It's still flexible. They put it in, they apply heat to it, and it cures it. It starts the process of it curing, and it turns hard, and then they, you
Oh,
know,
wow.
deflate it and cool it off, and then they put it back into service. It's a really neat process. This time they use steam. They've done it about 3 or 4 times for us before, and we went to talk back to them because we didn't have any issues before, but this was farther in the collection system up ahead,
Yeah.
north, you know, on Phillips Road and up near the plant. This time with the steam, we did have some where people's houses are connected, especially the old village where they have floor drains,
Yeah,
where they had an odor in the house. I don't know if they used hot water the first time and steam this time, I don't recall, I'd have to look back at what they were doing. But we want to make sure to have those notified, and give people the opportunity to make
Yeah.
sure things are sealed. If you have a
Just-
floor drain, hey, we're doing this, even if it's simple as filling a bag with water, like
Yeah.
in the old, when you're making sauerkraut in the old days, you don't put on there, make a seal,
yeah.
so they go through and you don't get those odors. I got about 3 calls, in the 2 days that they were doing it at night, when I went over and visited people and
But
found out
that's not bad.
what we're going.
Okay.
Yeah, but, I got 2 calls, the fire department got one call, so, that was a little unfortunate, but everybody was great. I actually talked to that person again last night, she was real understanding and thankful that it was getting done, but
Yeah,
it was odd because it wasn't anywhere near the houses. We went on the line where, one house it was near, but it wasn't really directly tied in. We weren't going by houses or having the laterals impacted.
but it was still
I
backing.
think because it was steam and maybe the
Yeah.
conditions that it was kind of
That makes
carrying that
sense.
odor with it, and obviously steam, it's not like, can fit through a lot smaller spots, so, and it's warm, so it wants to get up and out of there, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was done, the guy, they were in and out pretty quick, they came in last week and did some cleaning, and then this week, it's, 2 days, they did a good section of that line there, so.
It's just good to have that one done.
It's, I think, whenever you have lines, we've been doing a great job of grouting, the board's always given us in the budget grouting money, and we've continued that, and it's just kind of almost, I think, the next generation of that in certain areas, so
Very important.
works good. And that's it, and we're gonna look on the website, we're gonna look to schedule our spring cleaning, or spring cleanup has become very popular, we've done the last 2 or 3 years. So we're gonna look, now we have a better idea of maybe weather, try to get that scheduled, and that's where we'll do the brush cleanup
Yeah,
and, yard debris cleanup. We'll actually attach the leaf machine again, go down and pick up some of the softer things, for the leaves and weeds and things like that, and then
yep,
the brush, we'll have the chipper out too. But we'll have put information up on that.
very good.
Jake, you would maybe tomorrow check down at the Gateway Pavilion down there. There are like 2 sections where there's lights seemingly either out, strand is out, or it's been moved to the side or missing.
Yeah, they were out, and they're actually, if they didn't get to it today, they're gonna get to it to move. They had 2 loops, one on the outside, one on the inside. These are outdoor, the LED lights that we have, and they went down there and looked, and almost all the connections are rusty, which is odd for the lights themselves, so we're like, and the only ones we can get like that, we loved them because we could put them up and leave them and change the colors. But the inside loop was all still good, so what we might do to protect it from the weather, actually, we looked back, and there's instructions and everything, and we looked at the box, and it said the transformers to remain indoors. Like,
Oh,
how would you have an
geez.
outdoor,
How
indoor
can
lights
they
up,
have-
but the transformer is supposed to stay indoors? So we were discussing this morning, getting a weather tight seal, almost like a clamshell thing you could put over where that transformer is, as long as it doesn't need cooling. It's just a little control for it, to be able to still have them inside. And they plugged in, you can extend them and have one transformer and have all the lights, but they actually plugged them in individually, because when they plugged them in series,
Yeah.
they were getting increasingly dimmer, more dim, I guess. So they disconnect them and put the transformer back with each one, so they'd stay bright. But if we're just gonna do the inside loop, I think it's still gonna have the same impact, the same effect of having those lights. And I was thinking about it this morning, I drove by what color, March is almost done, so we've gotta pick a baby blue or something for springtime here. I figure out what color we're using for that, some sort of pastel color, I think.
Yes, it's got to be a
Figure
pastel,
out.
an Easter color.
Yes, but it's a pretty neat, it's kind of fun, we can go down there with one remote and,
So is there a way to
Nice.
replace that section or not?
We can order more lights, but we want to look at perhaps, a different manufacturer, because they're not, these were really the only ones we found that had the ability to change the color, and that was part of it,
Yeah.
is they're indoor, outdoor, we can change the color, we have labor one time to put them up.
Honest to God.
Obviously, there'll be some issues over, they're not forever, but, so we looked at that, and that seemed to be the only ones that we found that had that, so, for now,
But why did they have a metal that's gonna rust if it's an outdoor?
I would suspect if we look closer at the box, they are not made in the USA.
I would, you're right.
So,
They're dissimilar, I don't.
yeah, I think they're just inexpensive relatively,
Yeah.
and
And it said indoor, outdoor, more indoor than outdoor.
Yeah.
You know, if you got some that were expressly just outdoor, you probably wouldn't have the issue.
yeah.
Yeah,
And those were hard to find.
Well, they didn't make,
But I'm sure the LED outdoor that change colors is tough to find.
They were, I looked for a while.
I'm just waiting for somebody to figure out, well, I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, I thought of that too.
Hang on, Mayor, I did have one other thing. I see that you had your first Village Town monthly meeting, and that there are minutes.
Yeah, all right.
Have they been distributed to the trustees?
I will be doing that tomorrow,
Alright.
because the
So-
town has asked that I also send it to the town board.
Okay, so you'll see
So
the
they
minutes,
were,
but
they were taken, they were preliminarily looked at for any corrections, and then they are now going to be distributed. We said within the week. So,
right. So, anywho,
okay, so we
when you
don't
get the,
have
when you get the minutes, you'll see there's five,
the,
six topics, five topics? Five topics. Five topics. Well, and three of them require some attorney input between
no,
myself and Charlie Genesi. So Charlie sent me an email late today. We're gonna try to get together sometime next week and go through the ins and outs of if there's gonna be an ambulance district and if it can be truly townwide. I don't have the statute in front of me, but I believe the village can join into the townwide ambulance district, but you have to pass a special, I can't remember if it's a resolution or you actually have to have a local law to do it. But you can join in if you want to, if the town decides to do the ambulance district. But anyhow, I'll have all that, Charlie and I will go through that one,
okay.
and I remember a while ago, I looked at changing the boundaries for Xerox between the town and the village, and I'll find that statute again, and Charlie and I will go through that.
Good.
My recollection is that I think it's got to be started by the property owned by Xerox to make the request to move it. But,
Well, that would be good to know.
yeah, so we'll talk about that one, and what was the last one? Oh, then the two sewer IMAs, I already drafted them, and Charlie.
I was following up because you
Yeah.
said you had done that and passed them on, and I asked.
Yeah, so I'll follow up with Charlie to see if he's gotten any input from his sewer people yet on them.
Good.
But we'll probably get together sometime next week and I'll report back as to
All right.
the progress. But Carl, you should see your minutes soon.
Hey, I don't want anything getting by me, you know?
No, that's a good idea. There should be minutes, and it should go to all the trustees and all the town
Yes.
council persons.
Yes.
It's fine. It was a very congenial meeting and it was worthwhile. So it will be ongoing, third Tuesday of the month, 7:30 in the morning. See how it goes. Okay. Anything else from the board? Anyone else? No? Yes, Heather, you were down here at the office, huh?
Sorry, yes. So I sent out an email a while ago about the mayor's annual dinner meeting. I've received a couple RSVPs. I need to let them know by, it's Saturday, April 15th. And I need to let them know by April 7th. And it's going to be at Midvale Country Club.
Which isn't too far away.
Don, you usually come?
Pardon me?
Are you going to come?
Yes.
coming, Jerry?
We'll come.
Okay.
It's too bad, well,
Yeah?
I've got to
You're
send
gonna
you the special guest though.
Yep. They moved it to April because every time I had to reschedule it, every year I planned it for snow. He
I'm
won't be
flying
here.
home for that. I'm flying home for the budget's over.
Well, maybe we should have the deputy mayor attend.
Yeah.
That would be nice. I don't think he's attended.
He's shaking his head.
I can't because
Gotta go to a movie.
No, because of Congressman.
And then, we've also been invited to Embody. They are having a grand opening, and we received an invitation from Molly Flaherty, as well as a couple other businesses are getting involved. It's going to be a little block party kind of thing in the parking lot. So they would love to have, I guess it's not really called block party. They'd love to have some village attendees, if anyone wishes to come, and I'll be sending out that invitation. It's April 20th. Yeah,
There, I'm there.
Is it Saturday or something?
it's a Thursday, actually. I don't remember that, I'm sorry, I will send you the invitation, but it should be, there's gonna be cocktails and fun, and maybe some workouts, who knows?
I know.
I can't remember. So, and then, okay. Don, I wanted to request an executive session
What is the topic?
to discuss a person's salary.
Promotion, the phrase you
Yeah.
want to use.
Is it a promotion and or demotion of a specific individual?
Technically.
You cannot approve a salary increase
Right.
in executive session.
Can you talk
Or
about
an
it
increase,
and then come out?
yes.
Okay.
Why not just talk about it out, it's like,
Okay. That's fine. So, okay. I'll do it then. Well, technically, it's not actually my place to ask for this. However,
From an HR standpoint.
I'm coming from an HR standpoint, and because of the interesting makeup of the office, our DPW superintendent has never received a raise since I've been here, other than the cost of living. And I told you I wanted to go to executive session. And other than just the cost of living as well, and Daryl mentioned this about he got extra vacation to see his family instead of, or he forego a raise. So now that he has taken on another department and has not received, we discussed this a few meetings ago, he has not received a raise, as well as now taking over another department, I would like to propose an increase to his salary as we are about to vote on the budget. And I wanted to make sure that Mayor Byers was here because he will be leaving.
So much is it?
is that increase in the budget, so it'd be effective July 1?
Yes.
Or you took, all right, well, it's in the budget, you talk
Yep.
about it as part of the budget.
Yeah.
That's why, well, I took your advice, Don, and now, so we're doing it at an appropriate time.
Right.
This is when the budget's happening, and that's why, because once the budget happens, he won't be here. Well, the public hearing is next time, and then we'll vote on it in the second meeting in April.
So you passed out this budget then,
Yeah.
so it's somewhere in here?
It is not.
That's, yes.
Well,
Well, wait a
But-
minute, so
but because,
I thought I also saw somewhere on the agenda that that the clerk was handing out her budget to the,
Jake, my deputy clerk, Jake Swingley, did that. Everybody got one. That is my official handing out of the budget.
but the proposed increase for the superintendent of public works isn't in this tentative budget?
We couldn't until I only was able to meet with Mayor Byers about it, and there wasn't a meeting opportunity for, I'm not just gonna put it in there without discussing it first. So we can't change it at this moment. As soon as the public hearing is done, then we can.
Right.
But as we know, Mayor Byers is leaving for Florida, so he won't be back until the budget vote. So that's why I wanted to bring it up now.
All right, so
So I have information.
Yeah, what's the,
Okay. So currently, he is at 40. What, do you want me to keep going? Okay. He's at $42.53 an hour, and we are proposing a 9% increase, which equates to $7,961.61. That's never having a raise in the last 5 years, as well as taking on a whole other department, and which would bring him to $96,424.01. And I also, in case you ask, I also have all of the other villages' DPW superintendent salary as well, which I also shared with Mayor Byers. So if you're interested, I have that information. So,
we don't do this homework for my salary.
I brought it up 3 times. Mayor Byers was like,
I'm
a
just
little later, and then,
I'm just
Do
kidding.
we get 9% too?
Oh, yeah, right.
well, a 9%, and I know you hate, but other union positions or other types of, I know you don't hate the county, but these type of positions, a step is usually 6% on top of the cost of living, which is whatever it is. Obviously, we don't go by that because it's way bigger than 3%. So that is where we're going with the
So you're
9%.
split between the two.
How we stack up with the buildings?
So currently, he is, so I can give you the amounts if you'd like.
Like small park, in the middle of the road, lower end, higher
He's
end.
actually pretty middle. He's right in the middle. There are some that are a lot more, but I will note that many of these have a lot less time in than Jake does. And I have all that information I can send to you if you'd like to see that as well. So,
Which one?
I hate having to be this person do that because you guys always hate me, but he's not going to do it. And it's, I do believe it is well deserved.
I would say send the information out. I'm not gonna vote for it right now, not that.
So it's 20, so it's 22,442 plus this
I would-
70,025.
I mean, you
You're
say,
not gonna
you
be
say
here.
we're talking about things, but I would like to see the numbers that you have.
You're not going to be here,
Huh?
so he won't be here. So
You're not, I won't be here.
We don't need
Isn't it
others,
fair to
4 other
everybody
board
else to
members.
get those numbers?
huh?
Isn't it fair to everybody else to get those numbers? To get those numbers?
Well, I just said them, and like I said, we are at a delicate position right now because we only meet twice a month.
Right.
And I did send an email requesting a meeting about it. And so I do think I really don't think we should wait at least to have a discussion because you're not going to be.
And I'm not so concerned about what other people make that. I'm not so worried
I
about
gave
it.
you the amount.
We just gotta
he
do what
makes.
we think's right for here. I don't care
Exactly,
what
I
anybody
know.
else makes.
Yeah, and every other situation is different. His current hourly rate is $42.53. I am proposing to go, and I only did that biannually, so I can
What
tell you
made you
that.
come up with the 9%?
So the 6% is typically a step, which we don't get steps, but
Yeah.
that's typically a common step, plus the cost of living. So it's typically with other similar positions as us, it's usually a 9% increase.
There are no
And he's
steps.
taking on another.
There are no steps.
Right, but you just take that information and apply it.
I'm okay with
So what's currently in the budget you handed out is a 3% increase.
Correct,
All right, so 6% on top of that.
right. Which you would get 3 anyway, so it's really only a 6% increase. And like I said, he has only gotten a 1.5% on top of the cost of living since I've been here in the last 5 years. And I'm now going, am I going on 6 or 5? But, so I do think this is,
Well, I think it's worth it.
I'm okay with that. We're on it.
and we discussed it, I discussed it with Marcia. It is, she was more than, she said that's perfect for the budget, we're fine with that. And I met with Jake and I discussed, came up with a number, and I said that I would discuss it with you and provide you with the information. So I think, why wait, just if you're gonna, we have you all here now.
Why don't you follow up with an email to everybody with all those numbers you were just talking about?
Yeah.
And it'll also act as a reminder after the public hearing, if you want to amend the budget, that's a possible place to amend.
I forgot one thing though, can you change it, because obviously, if I send an email, he'll be aware, so we can do it at the next meeting, whatever. But, are you allowed to make changes to the budget the night you vote on it? Because I believe we're scheduled to do that, I believe, the 27th of April.
Yeah, after the public hearing, you can't make any changes up until after the public hearing, but then from the public hearing until you actually adopt the budget, you can make changes.
Okay, so after April 13th, after we have our public hearing. Okay.
Right, so you can propose changes between the 13th and the 27th, and then adopt it on the 27th. You can make changes before you take the resolution to adopt it on the 27th, if that's what you want to do.
Okay.
But,
So, thank you for your
since
time.
if you do it by email, because Daryl's not going to be around, if, you guys can sort of have an informal discussion about it via email if you want, and then, so you know what you're doing on the 27th.
So I can send out this information just to the board members and with Don, and then you can let me know what to do.
We have a discussion on the 13th.
Yes,
Whatever, that
after
first
the public
meeting.
hearing.
I'll probably be listening.
I can put it on, you won't be able to vote, but I can put it on Zoom.
Doesn't
You
mean I won't be listening.
I know, I was just asking if you want Zoom or Facebook.
Zoom.
Your buyer's not happy with me today.
Zoom is the best.
Okay, I can do that. Do I have to put that in the agenda if he's only going to be watching by that?
We can have a discussion.
I'm just asking Don. There's extra rules now.
Well,
If we vote on the 13th, doesn't matter.
I know, I'm just, do I have to put it in my,
is the only one that's going to be able to view it via Zoom the mayor?
no, I mean, anybody could.
Well, then that should be in the notice that it's
Okay.
available, because like today's meeting, you said it's available via Facebook Live.
Yeah,
You can say it's via Zoom, and you gotta put in the
The
link,
Yeah,
Okay.
the link.
so that the public can join in also.
okay. I just didn't know if maybe he could be the only one if he's just listening. I'll
Yeah,
vote.
but then
Well,
we'll see your-
what is there to discuss? I mean, you have already stated the numbers. That's just okay.
Well, you can't okay it, you can't take a motion now. There's a budget in front of you that can't be
Yeah.
changed until
Yeah,
after.
exactly.
Until after the public hearing. So it'll be done when you vote on the entire budget.
Yeah.
as a
All right.
whole,
Which will be the 27th,
Which will be the
not
27th.
the 13th.
Right. But that's why I just suggest that Heather send out an email to the
Yeah.
trustees, just to remind you that,
Mhm.
that you're gonna perhaps amend the clerk's budget to reflect tonight's discussion.
Okay.
Very good.
Now I understand.
Okay,
Thank you.
I think that's all I had. Thank you.
yeah. It's just a technicality of the New York State law.
Oh, please.
Love those technicalities.
The attorney's joke.
Well, it's because that's the one that's gonna be published in the Herald, and,
Yeah,
you can't have a bunch of different versions floating out there. The public needs to know
yep.
this is how it is until there's a public
Sure.
hearing,
Yeah.
and then you
Do it
can
right
change.
once.
I've heard that.
Anything else? Anything else?
Okay.
All right, then the next village board meeting will be April 13th, 2023. And the following meeting on the 27th will be adoption of the budget for 2024. All right. We'll also have information at that point about ZBA from the town as to what they're doing on the 11th. All right, well, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Oh, second.
All in favor? Aye. None opposed? I guess there is shaking. All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.